These might just be one of the best grip socks that I have ever used, and no one's even heard of them yet. These are the Havo Performance grip socks, and I've been testing them out for the last few weeks to tell you everything that you need to know about them. And let me just tell you, these are packed full of tech. Number one, you have the nano grip yarns. It's basically like woven grip yarns that stop slippage and get grippier as you wear them. 2, integrated ankle and arch support. The sock has a figure 8 compression zone which stabilizes your ankle and arch like using pro taping. 3rd is the premium lycra spandex, which gives the socks a really snug and second skin like fit. 4, turbo cool structure and materials. So these make the socks breathable and they dry quickly to keep your feet cool and prevent blisters. 5 is an antibacterial base material, which basically stops the growth of bacteria and bad smells. 6 is a double collar, so you have a double layer collar which prevents the socks from slipping down when you're playing. 7 is graduated compression, so you have these targeting compression zones which boost recovery, blood flow and endurance. 8 is this anti-pilling nylon base. So basically the socks use this durable nylon material which stops pilling and keeps the sock looking professional. 9, anatomical fit, so 1 for your left foot, 1 for your right foot. And this also helps eliminate extra materials so you get a better fit. 10, a reinforced toe, so protect your toes from wear and prevent holes from forming. 11, a seamless toe, so the seamless construction removes friction points that cause blisters. 12 is this pull tab, which is there to help you pull the socks up and take them off. 13 is heel protection, so you have this extra bit of padding which shields heels from impact and blisters. 14, a heel lock system, so a reinforced heel locks your feet securely in place to stop slipping. And 15, soft cushioning, lightweight cushioning that protects pressure zones without adding any bulk to the socks. Now these socks have gone through vigorous testing. I actually tested some prototypes of these socks, gave my feedback, and not just me, 125 players in total have tested the various prototypes of these socks, given their feedback, and we have this final product in my hands. And amongst those 125 players, we have players who have played at all levels of the game, whether it's grassroots like myself, or some who've even played in the Premier League too. So you have a grip sock that, meets the needs for all levels of football. So as you can see, the socks are filled with great features, but how do they actually fit on feet? Now the fit of these socks, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it, it's amazing. So firstly, they're on the thinner side, so that's something to consider, because sometimes with thicker grip socks, it can affect the fit of your boots. These are on the thinner side, even though they do have a bit of padding and cushioning. So overall, they won't affect the fit of your boots too much. And just look how closely they fit to my feet. You can actually see the contours and the shape of my foot through the socks. Now, not only do they fit well, they're extremely light and comfortable as well, especially in the heel and the forefoot, where it's pretty much most vital for socks in general, never mind just grip socks. And I think the best way to kind of describe these socks is like you're wearing a base layer on your feet. So overall, fit, comfort, amazing. Now this is a grip sock, so we have to look closely at the grip system. Now the grip system is the most important part of any grip sock. Havo are one of the rarer ones where they actually use grip yarns in the sock rather than your silicone or suede grip pads. And these nano grips that they use are inside and outside as well. And one of the kind of benefits of having like yarns rather than like the grip pads is like it makes the sock a bit more like stretchy and flexible, as well as you don't have to worry about them peeling off over time. Also, I know like some people actually don't like the feel of the grip pads on the foot, so with these you don't get any of that. Then there's the heel locking system, which is also very impressive. And what the heel locking system does is stop your feet from moving inside the sock. That does sound a bit weird, but even with grip socks, you need them some kind of system inside and out, because there's two kind of interactions. There's a sock and your feet, and then there's the sock and the boots. So if there's no kind of like internal grip system when it comes to a grip sock, there's still kind of ability for your feet to move excessively. And this can result in bunching and just discomfort after certain movements like sharp cuts, for example. But the heel locking system on these are extremely snug, like your feet don't move, like these doesn't move, like it's like almost stuck to the skin of your heel. So this stops any kind of excess movement and keeps your foot planted and stable. And like it kind of alluded to earlier, is like having strapping around your ankle that doesn't feel overly tight and compressive. And one thing you'll notice about these socks with them just in hand, by the way, is how gritty and grippy they feel, like the yarns. And this is them like just like brand new. So, as you play in them, they even become more grippy as well. And they need to as well, because when you play, you sweat from your feet. That moisture, the sweat, just inside your boots, and that can cause more slippage. So these socks need to be able to maintain that level of grippiness to keep your feet stable. And if you watched one of my grip sock reviews before, you'll know what's coming. If you don't, this is my grip sock insole test. Now the best way to give you that kind of visual idea of how well a grip sock works is just by sliding around on a pair of insoles. Now do take this with a pinch of salt as well, because it's not the most scientific thing in the world. So simply I dampen the socks with water as well as the insole, and then I see if my sock grips to the insole as I try to slide around on it. If it does, it's a good pair of grip socks in terms of grip. If it doesn't, you know, it's not a good indicator that the grips are that effective when wet. And the results speak for themselves when it comes to the Havo grip socks. As you can see, they perform perfectly here. Now, another common problem people have with grip socks is like they find putting on their boots harder with grip socks. So I've got 4 different types of boot constructions. Let's test them out. Now, I think the fact that they have like grip yarns rather than like grip pads to them, it makes putting them on a bit easier. And when it comes to the performance of a grip socks, it will vary from boot to boot, person to person, etc. Because we all have unique foot shapes and the materials that line our boots are different as well. So the gripper interaction can be different. But with the Havo grip socks, I've only had positive experiences from playing in matches and training sessions with them. And I'm someone who changes their boots every single time they play pretty much. And the best way to describe them is that you don't really notice them when you play. So what do I mean by that? Now, so just a disclaimer, most of the boots that I wear already fit me very well. However, I can still feel some micro movements with the boots from time to time if I play without grip socks. However, that's not the case with the Havo grip socks. They provide this extra feeling of stability that makes me feel more connected to my boots, so it's almost like this distractionless playing experience altogether. And on top of that, especially when you're making these like heavy cutting movements at pace, you don't feel the kind of like lateral force because your boot just feels more connected to your foot. So in essence, they do their job without, you know, making a fuss. And for me, it sounds weird, but like I've said it before, that if you don't notice it a lot of the time when you play and it just feels like you're more focused, I think, you know, that's a positive sign. Now, at the time of me making this video, these socks aren't officially out just yet. Havo are first launching these socks on Kickstarter as bundles, so I'll leave a link in the description for you to check that out. But once the socks are launched, they'll cost around £18. That might sound a bit pricey, but given the actual design and attention to the detail that's gone into these socks, that's actually a great price in my opinion, because there are actually worse grip socks out there at a higher price. I don't usually talk about wash and care when it comes to grip socks, but I think it's important that I do because a lot of people mistreat their grip socks and they don't last long because of that. So if you want these socks to last long, it's important that you listen to this. You either want to hand wash them or wash them at 30 degrees Celsius or below. If you use Fahrenheit, do the conversions yourself. You know, I don't know. And when it comes to drying them, do not machine dry, let them hang dry. Machine drying socks in general really causes the fibers that make up the socks to shrink, which makes them stiffer and less stretchy, as well as brittle, so you know, holes are easy to form as well. So like, yeah, just don't put them in an air dryer. I've been wax lyrical about these socks, but there are a few things I would change though. So number one is the thickness options. These ones are pretty thin, but you know, I think maybe a bit more variety where you have like a thick one and a thin one, you know, just, you know, appeal to more people would be something they could do going forward. And everyone would be more color variations. At this point in time, there's only going to be white and black available. I guess, you know, they are quite a new brand and white and black are the most, you know, popular colors when it comes to grip socks, so maybe something in the future, because I know some leagues are quite strict with like the whole kind of sock issue. So yeah, maybe in the future they can offer more color options. Other than that, I really don't have any complaints about the sock. So overall, what do I think of the Havo Performance grip socks? These are the first pair of grip socks that this brand has made, and honestly, these are already one of the best ones on the market. Anyone can actually make a grip sock, but not many people can actually make a good grip sock. And like I said earlier, a lot of attention to detail went into making these socks, and it is still quite rare to see grip yarns in socks. Now, the only ones I can think of off the top of my head are Nike, who do a pair, and then there's Adidas, who have their own pair as well. I've only used the Nike, not the Adidas one though. But for me, these actually surpass the Nike ones, so they're that good. And for me, they're already up there with the likes of Apex, Weavefoot, True Socks in terms of just like grip socks performance. They just don't feel as aggressive in terms of grip because they use the yarns rather than like the pads. So if you're someone who doesn't like the feeling of the pad underneath your foot, you know, these are probably the best option for you out there right now. Honestly, these are one of the most impressive grip socks that I have ever used, and if it wasn't obvious already, I would highly recommend them. Like I said, I've left links to the Kickstarter as well as Havo website in the description, so please do check those out. Other than that, thank you for watching. See you next time.